There's a specific discomfort that almost nobody names out loud. It's the itch of money sitting still. A bonus that landed 2 weeks ago and hasn't been converted into anything yet. Savings that are technically growing and somehow feel like an unfinished chore. If a number on a screen feels less real than a thing in your driveway, you have it. If money nobody can see doesn't quite count, you have it. And then you already know in your body why quiet wealth feels impossible. Tonight is about the script that makes it feel that way. And fair warning, this is not the stealth wealth talk. Hiding your money from other people, it turns out, was never the problem. Last spring, 11 at night, a man sits down at his kitchen table with a calculator and every account he owns. Nobody's watching, he isn't selling anything, and the arithmetic he's been avoiding for 15 years takes him about 2 hours. You have met this man. Maybe not him, his type. Sharp suit, too easy smile, and he was never looking for the gullible. He was looking for you. His name is Vance. If you've met him here before, you were told to distrust him, you were told correctly. A story like that always gets told from your side of the desk. Tonight we sit on his is commission work. Good months, dead months. And the first thing every client reads, before the brochure, before the pitch, is him. Vance understood that early. Nobody buys success from a man who doesn't appear to have any. So the watch costs a month's rent. The car is German, leased at a number he rounds down when he tells you. Every good month for 15 years converted, quickly, almost urgently, into something that can be seen. And at that table, at 11 at night, he is not hunting anyone. He is not the exception to what he sells. He is its best customer. And Vance is not stupid. Ask him and he'll tell you, correctly, that the wardrobe is a business expense, that the room he walks into decides his income, and the room reads him in 4 seconds. In his trade, looking rich isn't vanity. It's inventory, which is why the kitchen table took 15 years. When he finally added it all up, 15 years of being the most successful looking man in every room he entered, the warehouse was empty. There's a car he doesn't own, a closet worth more than his retirement account, and a net worth you could wipe out with one decent used sedan. Here is the part that should bother you. Over those 15 years, Vance earned north of $2 million. It came in, all of it, and nearly all of it went straight back out through the front window. Because somewhere along the way, Vance gave his money a second job. It wasn't just supposed to pay for his life, it was supposed to prove it. And a dollar that has to prove something is a dollar that never gets to grow. Now, you've heard the internet's answer to this because it's everywhere. Stealth wealth, quiet luxury, old money doesn't show off, hide the logos, drive the boring car, never tell anyone what you make. And here's why I warned you at the top that this isn't that talk. All of that advice, whatever it's worth, is solving the wrong problem because it's aimed at the wrong audience. Hiding your money from other people is a privacy tactic, but other people were never the leak. The leak is the second job you gave the money, the proving job, and you can strip every logo you own and keep right on paying for it. The real work isn't hiding your wealth from the world, it's untangling your wealth from yourself. Those are two different operations, and only one of them changes the number. Because every dollar you own is only ever doing one of two jobs. It's either growing, quietly, somewhere out of sight, or it's proving something out loud where the witnesses can count it. It cannot do both. The proving dollars aren't wasted exactly. They bought something, but what they mostly bought is testimony. So call the cost what it is, a tax, the display tax, the ongoing price of needing your money where people can see it. No one ever sends you this bill, you volunteer it. So here's where we're going tonight. First, the tax itself, what visible money actually costs, and the real number is much bigger than the sticker. Then the signs you're paying it. Some of them are dressed up as success, and one of them is dressed up as frugality. Then the roots, why this was never about vanity, why it's your nervous system demanding proof it can point to, and when that wiring got installed. Then the fix, not a budget, an untangling, including a 10-second test you can run on the next thing you want to buy that tells you which of your wants are actually yours. And along the way, you'll meet a man who has never once paid the tax. Picture a shop, 2 parts to it, the window and the warehouse. The window faces the street, it's lit all night, and its entire job is to make strangers stop walking. The warehouse is in the back, dark, unglamorous, nobody ever asks to see it, and it's where the actual business lives. Every shop makes the same decision with every crate that arrives: window or warehouse, display or stock. And a shop that puts everything in the window looks magnificent from the sidewalk. And it is no longer a shop, it's a set. Sets are expensive to keep lit, and there is nothing behind the wall. The tax itself is old enough to have a name with a beard on it. In 1899, an economist named Thorstein Veblen watched America's new rich spend fortunes on things whose only real function was to be seen costing a fortune, and he coined a term for it: conspicuous consumption. Spending whose actual product isn't the thing, it's the audience's belief about you. Veblen meant it as a diagnosis. We took it as an operating manual. A century and a quarter later, the feed put a lit shop window in everyone's pocket, open all night, with the whole world walking past. So let's price the tax honestly, using the most ordinary example in the country: the car. And yes, you've heard car math before? Every finance channel runs it. Stay with this one, because watch what the invoice actually prices. It isn't transportation. Take the gap between the car that proves something and the car that just drives. Vance's German lease against the sedan that does the exact same job. Call it $700 a month, and if anything, that's polite. Now run $700 a month through 10 years of a boring, ordinary market return, the kind you get for doing absolutely nothing clever. It comes out around $120,000. That's the real invoice. The visible car doesn't cost $700 a month. It costs an invisible 120 grand. A warehouse that quietly never got built. That's why nobody feels the display tax when they pay it. The bill is a future that simply doesn't happen. And compounding has one strange requirement that almost nobody honors. It needs the dark. It needs to be left alone, unwatched, unperformed, for an almost insulting amount of time. Every time money gets pulled into the light to testify, cashed out, traded up, shown off, the clock resets. The window is bright and pays nothing. The warehouse is dark and pays compound interest. That's the quiet compound. Quiet not because it's hiding, but because the dark is where growing happens at all. Nearly everything about how wealth actually works is an insult to how wealth looks. So how do you know if you're paying the tax? Watch for 5 signs. The first is the purchase as proof of survival. The brutal month ends and you close it with a reward. Something you can hold, wear, park. Not because you needed it, because I got through that doesn't feel finished without an exhibit. Vance could recite this one with his eyes closed. Watch the wording in your own head at the register. You're not buying the thing. You're buying the evidence that you're okay. The second is the itch from the top of the episode, the anxiety of unspent capital. Money that sits starts to hum. A bonus is a question you haven't answered yet. A savings balance is an errand you keep not running. For most people, money arrives asking, "What will I become?" And the script only ever accepts one kind of answer: something showable. The third, your things only age when they're witnessed. Your kitchen was fine until someone came to dinner. Your phone was fine until the keynote. June's winter coat was perfectly fine for 2 winters, right up until the new hire walked in wearing this year's, and June felt her own coat get older on her body in real time in the elevator. You don't actually feel your things wearing out. You feel them being seen wearing out. That's not wear and tear. That's the jury filing in. The fourth, you read price tags backwards. First what it says, then what it costs. The number matters less than the sentence the purchase speaks about you. And if you're honest, you've paid extra more than once, specifically for the sentence. And the fifth, the trick one, is frugality performed. Announcing the deal you got, narrating the discount. I never pay retail, delivered like a trophy. Refusing the logo loudly enough that everyone notices you refusing it. That's still the same script. The audience just changed. The tell was never the spending. The tell is needing it seen. There's research underneath all of this, and it comes from the man whose work this channel is named after. Psychologist Brad Klontz measures the money beliefs people carry, money scripts, and one whole family of them is what he calls money status. The quiet conviction that your net worth and your self-worth are the same number. And in Klontz's studies, there's a finding worth sitting with. The people who score highest on money status beliefs, the ones most convinced that money proves worth, keep showing up with compulsive buying, with purchases hidden from their own spouses, and with lower net worth, not higher. Lower. The belief that money proves your worth reliably travels with less money, because the proving burns the evidence, and that's the proof loop. The proof never sticks, so you have to prove again, and every round gets paid for out of the warehouse. Now the roots. Because this was never shallow, and it was never really vanity. Vanity is just the cover story. Your nervous system does not care about fashion. It cares about safety. And for nearly all of human history, safety was social. Status inside the tribe wasn't decoration. It was protection, allies, food, margin for error. Resources that others could see meant standing, and standing meant surviving the winter. Being seen as resource didn't feel like safety. It was safety. So the body learned a shortcut it has never unlearned. Display, then exhale. That's why the itch is physical. That's why the new purchase produces that little wave of calm before the guilt shows up. It's not weakness. It's a very old alarm system doing its job on very old intel. For some people, that wiring got hard set early. A kid who watched a parent flinch at the sound of mail hitting the floor, who learned to read the family's money weather from the tone in the kitchen. We read that whole script in episode 1. That kid grows up, gets out, and discovers that only visible buffer convinces the body the famine is actually over. A number in an account is an abstraction. The body doesn't trust abstractions. So the first real paycheck goes straight to whatever childhood was ashamed of. That's not spending. That's a signal flare fired back at a younger self. We made it out. The tragedy is that the flare burns the very fuel that would have made it true. For others, it was quieter than fear. It was love, arriving metered. Praise that showed up when the report card did. The trophy shelf as the family altar. Relatives who only ever asked about the achievements, so the achievements learned to do the talking. A child can't split "they're proud of what I did" from "this is what I'm worth." Those arrive as one sentence when you're 7, and a kid who learns that worth arrives through visible success becomes an adult who cannot feel a win that lacks a witness. The raise doesn't land until someone knows. The milestone doesn't count until it's told, including, eventually, and this is the quiet tragedy, their own savings, which are real and growing and invisible, and therefore worthless to the one system that decides what counts. So let's name it. Last episode, we met the lawyer arguing inside your head. Tonight's script is the jury outside it. This is the witness script. It doesn't count unless it's seen. Money isn't real until it's been converted into something another person can verify. Under this script, an account balance isn't wealth. It's potential wealth, waiting for a witness to make it official. And you will notice the witness script has one truly vicious property. It can never be satisfied because testimony expires. The car impresses for a season, the watch for a meeting or two. Then the jury needs fresh evidence, and the warehouse gets raided again. That's the loop running on its own power. And you didn't install this alone. There is an entire economy aimed at exactly this script. The feed turned every life into a shop window with analytics on the foot traffic. Financing will convert any look into a monthly payment. You no longer need wealth to display it, which somehow made everyone display harder. The logo industry rents out worth by the square inch. None of them are selling products exactly. They're selling testimony. Vance could tell you, it's his own trade, spoken back at him fluently. He knows every move. He pays anyway. That's the thing about scripts. Fluency is not immunity. Which brings us to the man who never learned the language. You've met D2, episode 2, 64 years old, the man who can defend a bad decision to the grave. He over-improved a house, one perfectly justified upgrade at a time, and never once called it a mistake. Same D. But watch him closely, because his script was never this one. Everything he overbuilt, he built for himself, never for an audience. Put a shop window in front of D, and nothing in him stirs. He drives a 9-year-old sedan the color of weather. The jacket Vance has privately dated to the previous decade. For years, Vance read D in 4 seconds, the way he reads everyone, and rounded him down to a maybe. Then he saw an account statement he wasn't supposed to see. And pay attention to what D is not doing. He is not hiding. Hiding is effort. Stealth is just performance running in reverse, and it pays the same tax and attention. D never auditioned for the play at all. His money has one job. It's in the back, in the dark, doing it. And there's an entire hidden population of Ds. A researcher named Thomas Stanley spent decades surveying American millionaires. fully expecting to find them where the shop windows are, and kept finding them on streets like D's instead, in ordinary houses, driving paid-off cars. The flashy ones, by and large, weren't rich. Big hat, as the Texans in his data put it, no cattle. Stanley even had a formula for what your net worth ought to be, given your age and your income. The window dwellers kept coming in under it. The D's kept coming in over. So, the fix. And notice what the fix is not. It's not spend less, and it's not a lecture about minimalism because you cannot budget your way out of a proof loop. A nervous system that needs evidence will always find the evidence. Cut one channel and it opens another. That's what the fifth sign was. The fix is an untangling, teaching the system that runs you that worth and net worth were never the same number. 4 moves. First, run the invisibility test. Next thing you find yourself wanting, ask one question and give it 10 honest seconds. Would I still want this if no one ever could know I had it? Writers like Morgan Housel have circled a version of that question for years. Don't treat it as philosophy, run it as a filter, at the register, purchase by purchase, because the answer is a diagnosis. Watch what the question does. Some wants survive it clean. The good mattress, the tool that fits your hand, the trip you'd still take with your phone dead in a drawer. Buy those with a completely clear conscience. This was never an anti-pleasure test. A want that survives the dark is really yours. But some wants die the moment the audience leaves the room. And whatever dies wasn't a want. It was a signal. The witness script, putting in an order. You were about to pay the display tax on something you don't even like. Second, give the body new proof. The itch doesn't argue in words, so you can't answer it in words. You have to retrain what evidence feels like. One day a month, same day every month, sit down alone with the number nobody sees and watch the warehouse count. That's the entire ritual. The first few months, honestly, it feels like nothing. The number is small, it moves slowly, there's no applause in it. Stay anyway. Somewhere around month 3 or 4, something flips. The private number starts producing the exhale the purchase is used to. This is not bookkeeping. It's teaching a very old alarm system a new all clear. Third, shrink the jury. Take a piece of paper and write down the people whose opinion of your life you would actually cross a room for. Not followers, not the parking lot at work. The real list. For most people, it's 3 names, maybe 4. Now look at your list and ask which of them is impressed by the least. You've spent years performing for a stadium of strangers who never bought a ticket. And notice, this is not the usual consolation. The one that says, relax, nobody's actually watching. Somebody's watching. The names on that paper are watching. They were just never once looking at the window. And fourth, the actual surgery. Practice being okay, unwitnessed. Small doses, like building tolerance. The when you don't post, the milestone you deliberately tell no one, just to feel how strange the silence is. And it will feel strange at first, almost like the thing didn't happen. That strangeness is the script, detoxing. Then say the sentence and mean it a little more each month. I am not the evidence. Your net worth is an instrument reading, like tire pressure, like a fuel gauge. It measures the machine. It has never once measured the driver. The day the number stops testifying about you, no shame when it's low, no worth when it's high, is the day it's finally free to do its only real job, quietly, invisibly, growing. And keep a window item or 2 if the joy is real. The test will tell you which ones. The goal was never an empty window. It's that you curate the window instead of living in it. And here's the reframe, because by now you know this channel doesn't end at stop it. Your need for proof was never a character flaw. It was a security system doing its job faithfully on intelligence that expired decades ago. It kept a tribe alive once. It kept a kid feeling loved once. You don't rip out a system like that, and you don't shame it. You thank it, you retire it with honors, and you stop letting it write checks. Vance, for what it's worth, kept 2 of the suits. They passed the invisibility test. His trade genuinely does read him in 4 seconds, and a tool is not a testimony. The lease went back. The replacement just drives. And he does the number ritual now monthly at the same kitchen table where the audit happened. He says the strangest part isn't watching the money stack up. It's how loud a private number can feel. Last month, it crossed its first real threshold, and he told no one. He said it was the first win of his adult life that happened to him instead of to his reflection. That's the quiet compound. Not secrecy, silence with interest. The one line to remember tonight: money that has to be seen never gets to grow. And if tonight put a name on that itch, the bonus you still haven't converted, the savings that feel like an errand, the win that doesn't count until somebody knows, that gap between what you have and what you can feel is the whole reason money scripts exist. There's a script running under every money move: the buying, the showing, even the not showing that's secretly still showing. Every week we find one and read it out loud with the research to back it. Subscribe, and the next script we read might be the one that's been spending your money for you. Your money runs on a script. Now you can read it.